I have to admit that I knew about the forces, but I didn't know about. I was ignorant to what Health for Heroes did. I was ignorant towards the lack of support the services get if there's a serviceman injured when they leave the forces. Or I didn't have a clue. I met my fiance Peter, who's been with Health for Heroes from the beginning, and she really opened my eyes. She talked to me, not trying to teach me anything. She talked about stories just because it's so close to her heart, and it was incredible. These people are giving everything for our country, and for a cause bigger than them. Afterwards, I went along with Peter first to Tedworth House, and I went to Headley Court, and it's meeting the people. It's meeting the people who work for Health for Heroes. It's meeting the servicemen, and the positive attitude that they show towards each other and towards getting a goal, and I'm working towards that to live a normal life, to be able to walk again, to be able to cook their dinner, and they're just so positive, so nice, and it's just like it's as if everybody else's injury is worse than their own, and you see this mentality, and it's like these are incredible people, really incredible people, and you can't help. It's not something like I want to do something. You can't help but get involved. You can't help but get absorbed in it, and I think it's the same. Everybody who's involved has had a similar experience. It's just absorbed. She got asked when I was young, like, or got said, like, you're the next. He was a rider who had a similar style to me, and like, oh, you're the next Robert McEwen. He's an Australian rider, and I said, I'm not. I'm the first Mark Cavendish, and that's kind of how I wanted to be when I was young. There's probably 3 guys. I've been lucky enough to race 2 of them on the same team. One of them I've raced with, and I worked with him, and we were all on the same team at one point. One was working as a manager and 2 were riders. And there are 3 people whose judgment in a situation I'd take over my own. Like, I wouldn't question what they did, I'd follow them. And one was Mark Renshaw, one of them is George Hincapie, and one of them is Eric Zabel. And they're the 3 guys whose I would take their judgment over mine in any situation in the sport. I met Scott Meeher, who was he lost both his legs in Afghanistan with an IED, and he was just learned to walk in less than a year, and I presented a Son Millie Award to him, and he was training for the Battleback Ram, the race across America, and he just got into handbike and just started, and he was hoping could make the team. Unfortunately, didn't make the team, but I had a little race with him on the handbike. I tell you, it's hard. It's really hard. Like you can see anyway, it's hard. Like, I know how hard it is what I do with my legs. So doing that with my arms, I can't imagine. But when I did it, like really, it's even the technique, to get the technique right is one thing in itself. I think the Champs-Elysees is one of the most beautiful boulevards in the world, not just for cycling, for anything. You look straight up, lined by the trees, cobbles, and L'Arc de Triomphe at the top, or the Place de la Concorde at the bottom. But yeah, to finish it in the Tour de France, it's a difficult stage to win. It's a difficult stage to ride. It's on cobblestones. It's slightly uphill, but it's just magical. It means, one, it's a sprinter's holy grail. It's the one stage every sprinter wants to win. And secondly, for every rider, not just a sprint, it means the finish of the Tour de France. They've completed the toughest bike race in the world, and so it really sticks in the memory. It gives every single rider, whether they're going for the win or not, goosebumps when they enter. I spend time with my family. I don't get to see them. I'm away a lot. I'm away 200 days a year, so the time I get at home with Peter, with my daughter Delilah, is I've got to treasure every single moment of that. Like, my first stage of the Tour de France was a big moment, but also when I won Milan San Remo was a big moment. But I think since I was a kid, I wanted to win the World Championships on the road. I won it twice on the track, but to be World Road Race Champion is the biggest honour you can get in the sport of cycling. So when I did that, I think it's the proudest. There isn't a technique for blocking out pain. You just got to teach yourself to deal with it. You can't block it out. You just got to suffer. You got to learn to suffer, and that's it.